So 10.3, we're going to learn about circles and the standard form equation of a circle. So our standard form of an equation of a circle is this guy here. So it's x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared, where h and k is our center, so center is whatever we're adding to k, but we always flip, or we're adding to x, but we flip the sign. Whatever we add to y, but we flip the sign. So it'll be h and k. And then our radius is r. So we would just have to take the square root of the r squared. So pretty much we're just going to look at our equation and be able to tell what's our center and our radius. So let's take a look at our first example. We have to find the center and the radius of the circle. So center would be what? So it would be positive 16 and negative 9 because we have to flip the signs of both of them. Yep. So we always switch the signs. And then our radius, well, 144 is our r squared. So if r squared is 144, how do we find what just r is? We would take the square root. So our radius would be what? 12. Because the square root of 144 is 12. All right, so example 2, we have to graph. So again, we need our center and the radius. So our center would be what? -1, 3, because we just flipped the signs of what we're adding to x and adding to y. So I'm going to go to my chart over here, go to the left to -1 and up 3. So that's the center of my circle. Next, I want to find the radius. How do I find the radius? So r squared is 25. So what would just r be? 5. We'll just take the square root of 25. So our radius is 5. So I go 5 in every direction. I'm going to go up 5, down 5, to the right 5, and left 5. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a point on the edge of my circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then once you have your 4 points, just draw a circle around it. So that's how we graph a circle. Let's take a look at the next one. What's our center? Perfect. 3, -1. Just flip the signs of what we're adding to x and adding to y. So I'm going to go to my graph, put a point at 3, -1. Which direction would I go to put this point on our graph, the center? To the right 3 and down 1. Awesome. So that's our center. And next I need the radius. How do I find the radius? We would take the square root of 36. So what's our radius? 6. So I go 6 in every direction. So I would just go up 6, put a point to the right 6. It's a little bit off our graph, but I'd put a point to the left 6 and down 6. And then just connect our dots with the circle. So in example 4, we're going backwards. It gives us the graph, and we have to write the equation. So I'm going to write our standard form. It's x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. So I need to figure out what my center is, because that's my h and k, and I need to figure out what my radius is and just plug that into r. So looking at our graph, what's our center here? What point is that?
2, -5.
2, -5. So this would be 2, -5. So the first one's our h, the second one's our k. So we're going to plug 2 into h and -5 into k.
We already found the center of the radius. Why do we need to put it in? Wait, isn't the 5 positive? Because it changes the sign?
Right, so it's a -5, which turns to a plus. Awesome. Mendoza, what was your question?
Why do we need to put it into the...
Because it's asking us for the equation of the graph, so we have to come up with the equation. This is what it's asking us for. All right, now let's figure out what our radius is. So how do I find the radius?
Coming up and down the side.
Right, the radius is from the center to the edge of our circle. So the radius is going to be the same no matter if I go up, down, left, or right. It would be harder if we counted at a diagonal, so you'd want to make sure that you go either up, down, left, or right. So I can count from the center up, and how many spaces is that?
4.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4. So what's our radius?
Maybe like 4 squared is 16.
Awesome. It'd be 4 squared, because in our equation, it's r squared. So it'd be equal to what? 16. Awesome.
Yes, like in the equation, it would be like, you didn't write 4 squared, you'd write 16, right?
Right, you'd write 16. So this is our standard form. Example 5, we're doing the same thing. So I'm going to start with my standard form. So I have x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. And I need to figure out what my h is, what my k is, and what my r is. So how do I find h and k?
Find out where your point is.
Find where the center is. So I got to find the center of the circle. What point is the center of the circle here? 0, 1. So in my equation, what would I put? It would be -1 because we would change the sign. Do I need that 0 in the equation? No, so I'm just going to change this to be x squared, because we're not adding anything to x. So anytime you see just like an x squared or y squared, either your h or your k, whatever it is just 0. If you're not adding a number, if you don't have those parentheses where you add a number. All right, so it's -1. Because our graph goes up 1, so our center would be positive, but we change it to -1. All right, and then let's find our radius. How do I find the radius? Count how many from the center. So I go 1, 2, 3. So if the radius is 3, what's going to go in? 9. Awesome. And that's our standard form.